Welcome back to the channel. My name is Douglas, and in today's video, I am sitting in my own little slice of heaven here with the Nord Grand 2, the Nord Stage 4, and the Yamaha YC88. Now in today's video, I wanted to talk specifically about the key feel between these amazing 88 key weighted keyboards and talk about, where I think each one falls and maybe which one I like the best. Now, as you can see, back in my studio, I've been traveling. I've been working really hard on a masterclass video training course for the Nord Grand 2. So keep an eye on that. I'm really close to releasing that. Super excited about it. Great project. And this is an amazing digital piano. Really glad I bought it and really excited to kind of carry this into the future with some worship sound packs and things like that. So if you're just getting into the Nord Grand 2, pay attention. We've got some cool things coming up here in the near future. Also, moving, so this is the last video that I'll be filming in this space, and the next one will be filmed in my new space. Same studio desk, a lot of the same setup, but it's gonna look slightly different, and it's a new adventure, so we're rolling with it. So I realized I have 3 absolutely amazing weighted digital pianos, and of course, some of them can do more stage performance related stuff in the YC and the Nord Stage 4 than in the Nord Grand 2. So little bit of a different market in some of these, and this isn't really a feature or sound comparison between any one of these. If you want to watch Yamaha YC versus Nord Stage 4, I have a video I'll post up here. Go check that out if it interests you, and maybe if I'm having fun, I might do a video comparing the YC and the Nord Grand 2. While there are some pretty big differences, there's also some similarities, and maybe these two are ones you're looking at to put in your home as a digital piano. So be on the lookout for that. In today's video, I wanted to specifically talk about Nord Grand 2 action versus Yamaha YC action because I think, from my memory's sake, they're pretty close. Having them both here, I'm gonna do kind of a side-by-side switch really quick. And then where does the Nord Stage 4 fall into the mix in terms of its weighted key bed? Because it's also 88 key. So I'm gonna start over on the Nord Grand 2. This is the flagship Kawai hammer action from Nord, collaboration with Kawai. It's a beautiful key bed. Coupling that with the White Grand, let's slide over here. And we've got the White Grand. On these, I pulled up about the same level of stage reverb. So hopefully we're kind of hitting the same on all the effects. You will notice that the Yamaha, slightly brighter of a piano sound. I haven't adjusted EQs or anything in the Nords, but we could brighten those up, or we could dull the Yamaha down. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. So White Grand. Beautiful key action. I'm going to swing right over, or maybe run, scuttle over to the Yamaha YC. So on this, we have this beautiful wooden action. And notice, piano is going to sound different. Now, I'm going to kind of put myself in between these two. In my opinion, and here's where we get into, this is my opinion on this. The Nord Grand 2, it's a little bit lighter, in my opinion. The Yamaha YC is slightly heavier. The keys are a little boxier on the Yamaha YC than they are on the Nord Grand 2. I prefer less boxy, so it kind of hurts to do that on the YC. The keys have kind of this sharper corner to them than they do on the Nord Grand 2. Not by a lot, but the plastic on the actual top of the key is a little sharper on the Yamaha YC. The Nord Grand 2, it's a little bit more rounded, not quite as rounded as the Nord Stage 4. I'll talk about that in a second. The Nord Grand 2, I feel like I like I know this is maybe ridiculous, but the sound of it when I'm not wearing the headphones. So I'll play this so you can kind of hear, and I'll turn off the sound and let you hear just the noise of the keys. I'll do the same over here. Small little thing. I feel like the Nord Grand 2, while it's slightly lighter in action, I prefer it over the Yamaha YC just by a little margin. It sits in this really nice spot where it's not too heavy and it's not too light. And I've had the chance to play this beside some Roland digital pianos, some Korg digital pianos, and as well as the Nord Grand 1. I think I've talked about this before in that the Nord Grand 2, compared to all of those, just felt the most real to me. And while the Yamaha YC is an amazing keybed, and there's a lot of people that love this keybed, with the wood keys, the action being on the heavier side. For me, it's just slightly too heavy, and maybe it's less of being heavy and more of it's the shape of the keys. Being a little bit more boxy than they are on the Nord Grand 2. I just prefer that. Now, keep in mind, a lot of my playing is not just piano, but I do some organs and electric piano and things like that. So I get used to some of the playing styles where I want to be able to play a little faster. So Yamaha YC, while it's got a lot of those sounds, I don't find it's as good as maybe the Nord Stage 4 at presenting a key feel that's versatile across all the different sounds. So let's talk about how does the Nord Stage 4 fit in here. I think this is, I'm gonna do this side by side. The Nord Stage 4, I don't know if I would call it necessarily bounce, but maybe it is a little bit of a bounce. The Nord Grand 2 doesn't have, so when you're playing, it's almost like the keys bounce back a little bit, where on the Nord Grand 2, there's less of that. And the Nord Stage 4 action is a little bit lighter than the Nord Grand 2. So when it sits on a scale of light to heavy, this and then this would be the hardest. But not by a lot from the Nord Grand 2. They're not too far off in terms of the weight. Just heaviest, slightly less heavy, and then slightly less heavy than the Nord Grand 2. So Nord Stage 4, I mean, I think this is a really good utility keybed for if I'm playing organs. It's a weighted keybed that I'm still able to play decent organs on. It's got more rounding than you have on the Nord Grand 2 and definitely more than the Yamaha YC. And I think it's a perfect utility keybed for performing. The Nord Grand 2, I wouldn't want to do organ slides in the same way I wouldn't want to do them on the Yamaha YC, even though the YC does give you the ability. If you were going to do this as an organ keyboard, I'd probably get the semi-weighted version. So overall, my favorite is the Nord Grand 2, unless I'm playing organs, and then I would want the Nord Stage 4. As I mentioned before, this is my opinion, and I love Nords, but I also love the Yamaha. It's a great digital piano, and the price point falls considerably less than the Nord Stage 4 and less than the Nord Grand 2. And while I think the market for these two is a little bit different, there is some crossover there when it comes to the piano side of things. So of course, everyone's gonna have a different idea of what they think is the perfect keybed. And a lot of times the best way is to go to a music store, if you have a local store that's carrying these keyboards, and play them. Play them yourself. That's going to give you the best idea of what you prefer. I've played a lot of keyboards over my 25 years of playing piano. And so over that time I've kind of figured out I'll play something and I'll either like it or not like it. And sometimes it's hard to put that into words, but it's how the keys and the sounds connect with your emotions. And for me, the Nords have always kind of hit that between the sounds and the feel. It gives me this real connection that I don't get with a lot of other digital pianos. So what do you think? Have you played the Nord Grand 2 or the Nord Stage 4 or the Yamaha YC? And in your opinion, what do you think from an action perspective and from your experience is the best feel? I did a workshop a couple of weeks ago on the Nord Grand 2, and I was able to talk to quite a few people that were classically trained pianists and play real pianos on a regular basis. I had them play the Nord Grand 2, and the general consensus was it's very close to the feel of a grand piano. Now, because I don't have access to a really nice quality grand, it's been at least a year since I've played a real acoustic grand piano. And so for me, it's a little bit difficult to say, yeah, this is the closest or this is the closest to an actual piano. So it's nice to talk to you guys who play actual pianos as well as digitals to kind of get those opinions and thoughts on the key feels as well. So again, I think lightest, nice utility. Nord Grand 2 is my favorite for piano playing, hits that sweet spot. Yamaha YC is still really good, but on the heavier side. I prefer now the Nord Actions for the church playing I do, as well as the other live playing I do. I think it just fits me as a musician the best and how I relate to these keybeds. So again, that's my opinion. I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you got any questions around these keyboards or videos you'd like to see that maybe I'm not thinking of, that would be some fun videos, comparisons, or things to do. Since I have these all in my studio, feel free to throw those down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, stay inspired, and keep making that music.